On campus here at beautiful Westbrook Christian. This is a fantastic facility you guys have got here, Coach, and as always, it's good to talk to you, and I'm looking forward to this show each and every week with you guys right here. And, Coach, things has changed since you arrived here. I mean, even this beautiful facility we're sitting in right now, we can talk about a million things. The season's right here upon us, Coach, but just kind of catch us up with what's been going on here at Westbrook over the summer leading into this football season.
Well, it's been a great summer for us. Our guys have been terrific as far as their attitude, their effort and stuff during the summertime. We've really thought we're making some significant strides here in year 3. Can't say enough good things about our players, our coaches, everybody's part of our organization. The buy-in that everyone has had, parents, booster club, everyone, is playing a part in what we're doing, from the speed training, the weight training, the nutrition program we got going on right now with our parents, and feeding the kids after practice, and the snacks and all the supplemental stuff that we're trying to do. Just great effort from everybody, and we're all looking forward to the season. And we're very blessed to have these facilities. I'm so thankful to our W Club and our school for helping provide us the opportunities and the facilities and all to be competitive. And the kids are working really hard, and hopefully we're going to put a better product on the field.
Coach, the similarities from the student athletes themselves to when you took over Piedmont, when you took over Cedar Bluff, right, in those transitional first few years, do you see those similarities with these Westbrook students, and what does that look like?
I do. All 3 places I've been the coach at, I've been very fortunate to have great kids and great supportive administrations and communities that loved, the school and loved the sports programs at the school. So been very fortunate there. A lot of times coaches take jobs and they're bad jobs. I've never had a bad job. I've been at places that had the things kind of in place to give you a chance to be successful. And then, at each of those places, modification of facilities, that's part of what the game is like now, being able to put things in place for kids to want to be there and want to be able to work out in those facilities and have meeting rooms like this and stuff. That's all been tremendous. But again, the number one thing about the transition or the transformation or whatever word you want to use is the actual people that are on the ground doing the work. And the kids, can't say enough good things about them and their work ethic and their dedication and their commitment to making Westbrook football something special. We got a lot of programs at this school that have been successful for a long, long time, and we certainly want to continue being successful in those programs, and just the kids and the people that have been involved here with football. We would like to get our football program to be on that same statewide level of competitiveness that our other programs are.
Coach, the simple fact you're here at Westbrook Christian, having Christ and everything you guys do here, how awesome is that? Because you guys are cultivating, growing better citizens that once they do graduate, go to college, go to work. Some of them going to go to work and some of them going to go to college, but how awesome is that to be a part of that here at grassroots as they're coming up right here before their adulthood to, kind of be that last edge that kind of pushes them over into society?
Well, that's always been who I've been. I'm a Christian first and foremost, and I'm very proud to say that. I've been lucky. Again, the places I've been at, you were able to kind of express those things. I know public school-wise, a lot of times you get chastised for trying to promote that within your teams, but I've been very lucky with both my previous stops that was always a big part. The kids at those places knew that was a big part of my life, the number one thing in my life, that football was secondary, obviously, to that. But doing it on a daily basis at Westbrook Christian, when the Christian mission and the Christian statements are ingrained in the hallways and chapels on Wednesday like we had this morning, just the things that you're able to do here are really special. And I think the people that are a part of this environment know what they have, and I didn't really know what the environment was like on a daily basis until I actually got here, and it's definitely not disappointed. It's something that's a very neat thing for the kids, the atmosphere that they're going to school in during the day and the things that they're hearing, the support that they're getting, the encouragement they're getting to live a Christian life is something that is really cool for everyone involved.
Coach, every time there's like a yin and there's a yang, you got to have trust. Obviously, they trusted you to bring you in, be an AD as well as football coach. You trusted them that this place is going to do what they said.
Right.
That's been a beautiful thing so far. Can you talk about that, the administration and all these people who's come together? Because it takes a village to get done what you guys have in this short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't ask for better folks to work for, number one. It would not have been an appealing job to me if I didn't have confidence in Ms. Neal and Mr. Kroll and all the people that were instrumental in getting me here. that was a big thing, knowing that you got the support from your administration all the way up to the top, and they want things to be good, and then them just entrusting me to try to implement, what I've learned over the years, and may do a small part to contribute to the school, and my part being athletics. I'm very thankful that I got that chance here, and we're every day we're growing. They're learning more about me. I'm learning more about them. But our W Club here is phenomenal. The money that they raise each and every year to put toward facility improvements and stuff, we couldn't have those things without them, and a lot of great people in that group that have been very supportive of us and what we're wanting to do, and they had some plans and some visions of what they wanted to do before I ever took the job, and I got to implement a few things that I liked along with it. And this year, in fact, we've added a nutrition program where we got a lot of our parents involved, and they're providing an actual meal a couple days a week after practice where we're feeding all of our varsity players and junior high players, and parents are already have the whole time I've been here been doing a Thursday morning breakfast after our practice, and providing post-game meals for us on the road. Just things that are little things in the eyes of some. They're a lot of work to the people that are doing it, but they're all instrumental in our plan of trying to get these kids bigger and faster and stronger. And I don't care if you're at a private school, public school, nutrition is an issue with all teenagers. They eat a lot of junk food stuff, or they only eat once a day, or they skip breakfast, or they skip this or skip that. So just trying to be educational for them, showing them how important the nutritional aspect of it is to go along with the speed training in the weight room and all those things, and then getting all of our parents to buy in and say, hey, we're going to be a part of this. We're going to have your supper ready at 5:30 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and just watching how that's kind of bringing everyone together, because you got people from all different aspects, grades 7, 6, or 6 through 12, coming in and working and helping serve and those types of things. It's really a cool thing to see it all coming together, and the buy-in from everybody has been so good.
Yeah, that's awesome. And let me ask you this, Coach, how much has that changed? Let's say from your first days at Cedar Bluff when you took over, how much have you learned knowledge-wise about the human body, and how much coaching are you having to do when these guys get away from you and they go home about rest, about proper eating and doing the right things to take care of their bodies?
It's such a big difference, and when I first started in '95 at Cedar Bluff, we didn't have all the practice restrictions. We didn't have to work within time guidelines. We were 2-a-days every day until we got into school, and we were full pads every day, running them into each other. We basically were killing each other in preseason camp, and if you had a spring training, you did the same thing in the spring. It's what we knew, because that's what we did coming up as players. But we didn't spend a whole lot of time on nutrition. I mean, I was still tough when I was at Cedar Bluff on limited water breaks, if any. Just because that was the way it was when we were coming up. If you had to have water breaks, you wasn't very tough, and but learning over the course of time, and then getting to a point, I can recall when I first got to Piedmont, wanting to try to go buy peanut butter and jelly and getting bread that was about to go out of date and making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, because that had become kind of a trendish type thing to try to feed the players. And then by the time I left Piedmont, we had a nutrition program that was going on there through the CMP that was feeding them every day, all the kids, in fact, in that town, whether they play sports or not. And then getting here and trying to have, the snacks. We got a big cooler in the back that's got, the muscle milk with the core power and things like that in it. And now expanding that on to feeding them actually a couple of times after practice, and continuing to feed them on Thursday mornings and Friday night after the games. It's such a big part of it, because kids, they're just like we were when we were teenagers. They think if you just work out and practice, that's all you really do. But, it's really 24 hours a day what you're doing as far as getting your rest and getting your nutrition. And it's still difficult. It's still difficult to this day, for kids to understand that part of it. I think they think a lot of times they can just skip a meal and eat a protein bar or something, but you really got to have that balance and just trying to educate them. We're very lucky here. Coach Chad Phillips, our strength and conditioning guy, he's big in the nutritional aspect side. So he's been coordinating with some of our parents that are kind of spearheading this program. And, they're getting the right things for these kids to have as post-practice snacks, pre-practice snacks, meals on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights, and everybody just working together on that, and the parents buying in. One thing about kids at Westbrook, I think they have probably an idea of those types of things, of what they're supposed to do, because a lot of them's parents, are into fitness and things like that. But again, as parents, we don't sit there and watch our kids every day eat 3 times a day. Got a lunchroom that has a little bit different regulations than what I'm used to, but they can get sandwiches or salads or hot bar or whatever they choose to get, but still got vending machines. And a lot of times I watch kids and they'll call a Coca-Cola and a bag of nacho chips, lunch. That's not necessarily what you need to be doing, but, so there's a lot of options around here, I guess is what I'm saying, but just trying to get them to buy into the things that they need to do to enhance their overall athletic performance is something that has been key.
It's been a different world from the early days, like you said, where if you got water, you was weak.
Oh yeah.
To now.
No doubt.
But it's cool though. I mean, it's changed, and you have to change with the times to stay up with them. Coach, we're finally going to talk about a little bit of football here.
Yes, sir.
You guys actually are off this week. I'm sure you get to do some self-evaluating and get ready to prepare for the season. But you take an off week very seriously as a head coach. I already know you do from previous conversation we had.
Right.
What are you looking to get done this off week before the bullets start flying for real, so to speak?
Well, we are considering this game week this week because we do play Hoax Bluff Friday night in a jamboree at Hoax Bluff. It's a non-counting game as far as the record goes, but it gives us the opportunity to scrimmage against somebody else besides ourselves. A great program there with Coach Rob. I mean, they got a lot of guys coming back. A team that won 9 games last year. Be a good test for us to see kind of where we're at. Going against somebody else. So we're approaching this as a game week type practice week for us. But, I'm not a big believer in the bye week. Now, a lot of people like to play week 0 and then like to be somewhere off during the season. I'm not that guy. I'd rather when we get into the season, we play 10 straight weeks, and I'm good with that. But we're also in a 9-team region this year, so we come out of the gate next Friday night with a region game at home against Glencoe.
That's incredible.
And, it's we need this week to evaluate. We still got several positions that are up in the air, several position battles that are still going on that, we need this week against Hoax Bluff to kind of see who's going to take the lead in some of those position battles, So it's going to be a big week for us, even though it's a non-counting competition against somebody else. It is a huge week for us as far as evaluation, and we'll come in and watch film. We do everything the same way we would as if it was a normal game week, but coming out of the gate with a region game against Glencoe, you don't get any time to get into the swing of things once the season starts. We have to come out, hit the ground running.
When you look at approaching a jamboree game like you're going into right here, do you always, as a coach, do you prepare the guys fully, watch a lot of film, or do you want to see them in slippery slopes where they got to figure it out themselves?
Well, we have not watched any Hoax Bluff film this week, and I would imagine Coach Rob, if I know him like I think I do, he probably hadn't watched any film on Westbrook either. We're much more concerned with what we do, and I'm sure he is the same way. Now, he and I have kind of talked and laid out, we're going to try to play, the older guys for a half, and then second half kind of mix and match and those types of things. So we kind of control that. We're going to do the special teams, but they're going to be dead. We both want to get our special teams units on the field and kick it and snap it and all that. But, the biggest thing about playing a non-counting game like that, you always worry about the injuries and things like that happening. I know he's got players on his team. We got players on our team that you want to try to keep them as healthy as you possibly can. But it is tackle football, and you do have to get some work in. You have to get some live work in to be able to be ready for the season. So, at the end of the day, they'll turn the scoreboard on, and so it'll be competitive. You're going to get both teams' best efforts out there to want to compete and do the best they can. But it is vital for us to be able to evaluate how our guys are reacting in a game-type situation.
Let's talk this thing, break it down into units. Let's start with the offensive side of the football, Coach. Right. This season, some of the guys you need to lean on, some of the guys you're looking at to be leaders. Who you got?
Well, offensively, it starts with the quarterback, Brody Blevins. He was a second-team All-State performer last year as a sophomore, and Brody's an outstanding leader. He's the kind of guy you want in control of the huddle. He's the guy that's kind of the vocal guy there on the field, but he leads by example. He's a tough kid. He's hard-nosed. He don't mind getting in the physical aspect of the game. His ability to throw the football has really, really improved. He's worked hard on that, and like I said, he had a decent year throwing the football last year, I thought, but I think he's made tremendous strides there. So a lot's going to be on his plate, a lot of expectations there, and then he's the kind of guy, he kind of welcomes that. He wants that responsibility. In the backfield with him, we got a couple of seniors in Brody Wood and Maximus Jones that have started the better part of 3 years, and I think both of those guys have taken some significant strides forward, to be better. We turn all 3 of our starting receivers. All of them will be seniors in Brody Johnson, Bo Kilgo, and Beckham Hammontree, and then we've had some other guys like Parker Sims, Jacob Maples, Cordell Martin, Sawyer Stewart, Kason Patterson, some more people that have kind of come on, gave us some depth there at those positions. Offensive line-wise, Cooper Lancaster's returning for a third year on the offensive front. Jonah Valentine's returning star from last year. And then we've got three positions that we had to fill due to graduation. We only had 8 seniors last year, and 6 of them started, but 3 of them were on the offensive line. So got some battles going on at those positions, trying to plug and play those other 3 line positions. That's kind of what our offensive outlook looks like.
All right, let's flip it over and talk about the defensive side of the football,
right.
Coach.
We lost 3 key seniors last year, 2 in the secondary. Jackson Ramsey and Max Legg graduated last year, and then we lost our strong side inside backer last year, Noah Wright, who was a really good player for us. Got 8 returning starters, really on both sides of the ball. And this year we're going to be younger on the defensive side. Right now, Luke Thompson is a returning senior in the secondary, and Jake Honey's a returning senior on the defensive line. Everybody else right now in our first 11 is probably, underclassmen. So, got some good talent on that side of the ball, some people that played a lot last year. Titus Jones returns at outside linebacker. He was our leading tackler from last year that's returning. Brooks Whiteside returns at the inside backer. Isaiah Hooten and Easton Skaggs at defensive end, in addition to Haney. And then you got, I mentioned Luke Thompson earlier, but Carter Cothran is returning in our secondary, and we got a couple spots in the secondary that position battles that's kind of up for grabs. That the Friday night against Hopes Bluff will go a long way. We got a rotation that we've kind of mapped out how we want those guys to play, and feel like we got some really talented guys there, just not a lot of guys that have a lot of varsity experience. So feel like we got some good things to work with. We're still trying to solve the inside linebacker dilemma, to replace Noah Wright. I don't know that you replace somebody like a Noah Wright, but somebody to fill that role. We got 3 or 4 candidates that we've been working in there to try to see who's going to step forward and take that spot. So feel good about it. Feel good about the people we got. Feel good about the instruction they're getting on that side of the ball. We just gotta find the right pieces to plug in, and then special teams wise, I feel like we got the best kicker.
Question.
Well, best kicker and punter in the state, in my opinion, Reed Barber. Last year, if you wanted to find some things to knock Reed on, I guess we could knock him on his punting ability last year. It wasn't really good. I mean, it was okay, but not nowhere where it should be. And he's really committed a lot of time and effort in the off season to his punting, and it's caught up with his place kicking and his kickoffs and stuff. And and you got a guy that can kick it 8-10 yards deep in the end zone every time on kickoffs, and people starting on the 20 in high school football. That's a big deal. You feel pretty good about him kicking field goals from 55 in, and that's a lot of people don't have that, and now that he's added the punting part to it, and he's been averaging probably 45 yards a punt during practice and hanging it up in there a long time. Just those things are huge weapons at any level of football, but especially 3A high school football when you got somebody that can help you in that way. So we feel really good there.
Then special teams, most coaches tell you need to win 2 out of 3 phases to win the game. But talk about that a little bit. How a lot of people don't put the emphasis on special teams as they do the offense or defense. But how important is that to have a reliable kicker plus coverage team? And there's so many X factors in special teams.
Well, and the thing is, we got a lot of players here at our place right now. They may not be in the starting 22 offense defense, but they're covering kickoffs, they're covering punts, they're on the kickoff return, punt return team, and they're going to get 20, 25 snaps a game. And getting folks to buy in, we've been really fortunate. We've had some guys that's bought in that, hey, I'm second team outside backer, but I'm on all the special teams or whatever, That's a big sell to young people because they want to play and they want to contribute. And we take a lot of pride in our special teams here. Kids will tell you pick any Westbrook player out. After we stretch and do our agilities to start practice, the first 20 to 30 minutes every day is special teams.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's every day. That's Monday through Thursday, and we place that kind of emphasis on it because we want as many people in this program that can get on the field on Friday nights and help us win games.
That's right.
And the more guys that you got, we're fortunate. We don't have anybody that's starting right now on both sides of the ball. So we got 22 different folks there, and we probably got 5 or 6 guys that are on a lot of special teams that may not be starters on offense or defense. If you can go into a ball game and you're comfortable playing 28 to 30 kids, then you feel pretty good about it.
That's a blessing, especially 3A or below now.
No doubt.
That's really, really good. And, Coach, before I get you out of here, just final thoughts. I know what you want to accomplish this week playing Hokes Bluff in the Jamboree, also heading into the season in general.
Right. And it sounds kind of corny because everybody's like, ain't no way Coach is really fine. I don't really want our guys focusing on the win-loss record. I really want them focusing. It just sounds cliche, but the process of what you got to do each and every week to be the best prepared you can be, healthiest you can be. I tell them all the time, the best ability is availability.
Yep.
Taking care of your bodies and doing things the right way to be able to get out there on Friday night and represent your school and play with those guys beside you that in the locker room with you that's going to be your lifetime buddies. Try not to focus as much on the wins and losses as we do that process of what you got to do to get there. And if you do those things, I think you're going to see a pretty favorable win-loss record at the end.
That's right.
And you start meeting the goals that you really want to meet, and that's the thing I really believe we've emphasized with this group, and I think that they bought into, just being the best you can be from one week to the next. Don't overlook any opponent. We're not good enough to say that one's in the bag. There's nobody on our schedule that we can just say that's a win. I mean, every game on our schedule is a team that I feel like can beat us if we don't prepare and we don't work and we don't do what we're supposed to do. Likewise, I think there's not a game on our schedule that we can't win if we do everything we're supposed to do and work and prepare and those things. So just getting them to buy into that the process of what you're doing to be successful is what's going to carry you. And I think our guys have bought into that. So that's kind of the challenge it'll be from week to week for us.
Coach, appreciate you sitting in. This one's normally a little bit longer than what we would do on your coach's show because I know you stay busy and I do as well. But I appreciate you sitting in, catching everybody up, so to speak, and thank you so much.
Appreciate you having us.